Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. The government has set up a Joint Aerospace Steering Committee to help develop the country's aerospace sector. Keith Campbell reports.
The creation of the Joint Aerospace Steering Committee, or JASC for short, was announced at the recent Africa Aerospace and Defence exhibition in Pretoria. The Chief Director, Advanced Manufacturing, Aerospace and Defence in the Department of Trade and Industry, Nomfuneko Majaja, explains what JASC is meant to do.
JASC is the Joint Aerospace Steering Committee, which has been created by government to try to coordinate and streamline the aerospace agenda for South Africa. It has been created because South Africa has seen many stakeholders having different programs in silos and not communicating to each other well. Now with the JASC, we want to streamline all aerospace programs within the country for effectiveness. We mobilize the resources and all the efforts. The JASC has already been composed. The JASC is comprised of relevant government departments. It's composed of DST, DTI, DOD, DPE, and DOT. We have done that by requesting a nomination of an expert and a high official within these government departments to the DGs of the departments. JASC also is comprised of industry, being represented by the associations, the AMD and the CASA. It's also represented by research institutions such as the CSIR, as well as the developmental finance institutions, IDC, and TIA, which is Technology Innovation Agency. So that's the composition of JASC.
The South African Institute of Civil Engineering recently held a bridge building competition for school children from South Africa, Zimbabwe and Namibia to familiarize the children with engineering disciplines. Skalkberger has the story.
Engineering consultancy BKS Group sponsored the event and also gave the students tips about structural concepts including tension, compression and structural elements of design before they set to work building bridges that had to span 830 mm by 135 mm. Domino Servite School from Pietermaritzburg placed first with a bridge weighing 130 grams, which carried 87 kilograms before it succumbed. SAICI Outreach Officer Mari Ashpol speaks about industry involvement in such initiatives.
This competition, apart from an outreach, is also in support of government's identification of civil engineering as one of the priority scarce skills in the country. It's approximately more than 600 schools are involved every year in South Africa, Namibia and in Zimbabwe.
SAICI Pretoria volunteer and geotechnical engineer Andre Archer speaks about the technical aspects of the competition and the tips BKS structural engineering technologist Anton Fourie gave to the students before the competition.
He showed them 3 designs, typical designs of bridges, incorporating all those different forces and members. The 3 designs were truss members, normal arch bridge, and a normal triangular shape. Those are the 3 that he showed them, and he basically told them that those are the forces that they have to take into account, giving them, I think, a bit more than they were used to getting before a bridge building competition. One of our other colleagues told them that they're actually in a privileged position. Normally you don't have an engineer telling you that, and I think it was good, just showing them what to look at. I think in terms of school, you don't normally think of it. You work with it every day, but you don't think of it. So I think it made their minds open, and you can see while they're building, you can definitely hear them talking about this should be in axial, or this should be in tension, and or compression, and so on. So no, I think it was a good introduction.
Other news making headlines this week: partnerships are key to local governments delivering on their strategies, and MTN will launch its long-term evolution in 3 cities soon. A report by auditing firm PricewaterhouseCoopers indicates that if local governments in South Africa are to overcome challenges of strategy execution, they will have to partner with private, public and voluntary sector organizations.
While there has been some significant progress that we have made as a country and as local government over the past 18 years, there's certain critical challenges that remain that we need to address in quite a decisive and systematic manner. So we need to build the capacity of municipalities in terms of systems, structures, processes that enable effective governance, accountability, oversight, etc. We also then look at building the capacity of individuals within the municipalities. On the one hand, individuals that lead and govern, which ostensibly would be our political leadership, but also quite critically is the capacity to implement the decisions and policies that have been executed and that have been made.
Telecommunications group MTN is set to commercially launch long-term evolution in Johannesburg, Durban and Pretoria within the next 3 months.
We're planning to launch commercially this year. I think we will probably have 400 to 500 sites by the end of this year live. And at present we have 200 to 250 sites ready to be integrated into the commercial network. So we're really working on expanding this. Our initial plans will be to cover Johannesburg, Pretoria and Durban, and we're looking at Cape Town as a possibility as well, although there are challenges there with refarming spectrum. So it might not be a full 2 times 10 megahertz sort of carrier, but we're looking at whether it makes sense to do something else.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insight into South Africa's real economy.